All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is um, the final section of listening. So you'll be going through things that you have to note in there alongside how to go about um, listening for your answers. Okay, so this is the final part of your or the final section of your listening test. So after section 1, 2, and 3, this is the final one, and this is the one that actually contain a lot of information, as in the reader might be giving you so much detailed information that can somewhat confuse you. Okay, that can somewhat confuse you. All right, and in there is a lot of paraphrases, a lot of synonyms. Okay, so you have to be keen and listen attentively in order to detect such cues in order to help you answer your questions or the questions that are before you. All right. So section 4 is basically more of a lecture. So it's just like a presentation. Let's take for instance you've been to a lecture hall and you have your tutor in there giving forth a presentation from one topic to the other, to the other, to the other. All right. So that's how it's structured. So the person is only one person who will be speaking, and the person will be going from one other thing to the other thing. And most of them, um, they give them titles. All right. So you see titles on them, and those titles are things that can help you determine during the audio where exactly the speaker is or which question the speaker um, is about to hit on. All right. So most often, as I said earlier, is one speaker and it will be a presentation or yeah, and the presentation can be on any topic. It could be a research topic, it could be someone's project, it could be information from animals, from our natural environment, from science and technology. I mean, every aspect of our lives, they can bring up something to present on. And with this, you have to just listen attentively and pick out your answers. These days, it's mostly one um, answer, as in a single answer that you need from you to fill out a specific space. All right. So the answers actually comes in order. So if you haven't heard that of question number 31, you're not going to hear question number 32. All right. And if you know that you are hearing question number 32, it means that question number 31, the answer has been said already, and probably you didn't hear it. All right. So that's how it's structured, one after the other. And there is no breaks or no break within the middle. Now, the question types over here are mostly gap fill. They are mostly gap fill questions. There are certain times that they used to bring multiple choice in here. However, the most from 2018, 2016 forward, all of them or all the questions over here in listening part 4, section 4 is more of a presentation that you pick out some of the words to fill it. And these samples you see over here, let me show you. Let me pick up my pointer and pick up another. These samples you see over here, okay, they are coming from the official IELTS Cambridge books. So that's how they have structured it for about the past 10 years now. Okay, so be sure that going in there, this is how a sample that you will see in there. All right, and it could be on a different topic. So first and foremost, you note your instructions. We know that it's gap fill type of questions that we are going to answer or short answers. So you note our instruction. It says write complete the notes below, write what one word only. So if you are writing two words, please know that you are wrong already because the instruction says one word. And you have to listen attentively for that one word. If you get the word and it's qualifier, please, it's the word, not the qualifier. Okay. If let's say the word is beautiful and you have a qualifier like say very in front of it, the person very beautiful, go for the only beautiful because you can't write very beautiful. It will be what? It will be wrong because the instruction says one word only. Okay, so you read your instructions and you underline all your keywords. So your keywords will be what? You'll be starting from 31. So as they have given you the opportunity to look through this for about 30 seconds, your keywords are these. So it's a maze, the type of, so type of something. They can paraphrase the type of and see a different thing. Okay, the dash is needed, okay, to navigate through. So it's looking for something. So your keyword were navigating through a maze. All right. The word maze derived meaning. So meaning of the word maze, feeling of something, feeling of what? So that would be your key, your keyword to underline. And over here, frequently being used in something and prayers. So what thing and prayers? Is that what you're looking for? What thing is that? Now, ancient carvings on something. Okay, have been found across cultures. So you will be waiting for that thing that carvings has been on. That's what you would be looking out for. But first, let's look at something over here. Have you seen that they have given us a topic base something over here? Have you seen? So the presenter will always emphasize on this. Oh, the word labyrinth can be defined as, which means the person is talking about what the definition. And you end up saying nowadays, or this word labyrinth has been confused with the word maze. Comparatively, you see, they'll be talking about what? A maze. You understand? And they will come here and they will give you early examples of maze. And you know that this is where they are. Okay. So be concentrating your attention on this. So if you'll be looking out for this answer, you didn't hear it, or probably it just bypassed you, and you start hearing this, know that they have bypassed this. Okay, so you ought to just come over here, follow suit, and listen for the answer. Okay, so that's how it is. Now let's proceed. This one also be what your keyword center. They can change the center to anything. All right, and over here note something. See, the dash is where is right before a person's something what rate. You get it? So, and this one is what an example. So far as you get here, whenever you get here, you just take note of what? Take note of the fact that they are going to talk about an example, and within that example, that's where you get your what? Your answer. Okay. So it's quite easy. Likewise, over here, if you see that they are talking about popular with patients and that, they're talking about, this one is unique. Everything is in quotation marks, so they will definitely mention it. It's in quotation marks, and you can't kind of paraphrase it. That's what it means. You can't paraphrase, so that one is okay. So you just be looking out for that. And if you hear that, and the sentence says, patient who can't walk can use finger labyrinth made from something. Okay, so that's how it is. And the topics for signals, we've talked about that. And you listen keenly as they go along, and you pick out your answers and you just write them and fill out the space in there. So, ladies and gentlemen, you just go through it and you are done. So, we take the example and we see how to go about answering this. It's pretty much easy and straightforward. All right, thank you. All right. ladies and gentlemen, so you will check out how part 4 looks like and how you go about answering the questions. So after you end part 3, the examiner, the audio will instruct you to look through the answers that you have taken. Right after that, they will now introduce part 4, and they say you have about half a minute to go through part 4. So that one gives you about a minute, and that minute is good enough for you to um, go through this and highlight your keywords. Earlier, I think we discussed where to highlight. With this kind of um, part, that's the section, that's the last section. Mostly the words that comes right after the spaces that have been given for you to fill, those are the ones that you mostly highlight, all right? Because it's something will be coming either next to it or before that. Okay, so you highlight that, then as the audio starts, you also read alongside through where you have highlighted. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's give it a go and let's demonstrate how it is. Okay, so I'll start the audio and I'll go through it with you. So I'll be answering it over here on the right side of your screen. Putting the answers. They are short answers. All right. So let's get started.
You will hear an anthropology student giving a presentation on spiral path designs known as labyrinths. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. Labyrinths have existed for well over 4,000 years. Labyrinths and labyrinthine symbols have been found in regions as diverse as modern-day Turkey, Ireland, Greece, and India. There are various designs of labyrinth, but what they all have in common is a winding spiral path which leads to a central area. There is one starting point at the entrance, and the goal is to reach the central area. Finding your way through a labyrinth involves many twists and turns, but it's not possible to get lost, as there is only one single path. In modern times, the word labyrinth has taken on a different meaning and is often used as a synonym for a maze. A maze is quite different, as it is a kind of puzzle with an intricate network of paths. Mazes became fashionable in the 15th and 16th centuries in Europe and can still be found in the gardens of great houses and palaces. The paths are usually surrounded by thick, high hedges so that it's not possible to see over them. Entering a maze usually involves getting lost a few times before using logic to work out the pattern and find your way to the center and then out again. There are lots of dead ends and paths which lead you back to where you started. The word maze is believed to come from a Scandinavian word for a state of confusion. This is where the word amazing comes from. Labyrinths, on the other hand, have a very different function. Although people now often refer to things they find complicated as labyrinths, this is not how they were seen in the past. The winding spiral of the labyrinth has been used for centuries as a metaphor for life's journey. It served as a spiritual reminder that there is purpose and meaning to our lives and helped to give people a sense of direction. Labyrinths are thought to encourage a feeling of calm and have been used as a meditation and prayer tool in many cultures over many centuries. The earliest examples of the labyrinth spiral pattern have been found carved into stone from Sardinia to Scandinavia, from Arizona to India to Africa. In Europe, these spiral carvings date from the late Bronze Age. The Native American Pima tribe wove baskets with a circular labyrinth design that depicted their own cosmology. In ancient Greece, the labyrinth spiral was used on coins around 4,000 years ago. Labyrinths made of mosaics were commonly found in bathhouses, villas, and tombs throughout the Roman Empire. In northern Europe, there were actual physical labyrinths designed for walking on. These were cut into the turf or grass, usually in a circular pattern. The origin of these walking labyrinths remains unclear, but they were probably used for fertility rites, which may date back thousands of years. 11 examples of turf labyrinths survive today, including the largest one at Saffron Walden, England, which used to have a large tree in the middle of it. Recently, labyrinths have experienced something of a revival. Some believe that walking a labyrinth promotes healing and mindfulness, and there are those who believe in its emotional and physical benefits, which include slower breathing and a restored sense of balance and perspective. This idea has become so popular that labyrinths have been laid into the floors of spas, wellness centers, and even prisons in recent years. A pamphlet at Colorado Children's Hospital informs patients that walking a labyrinth can often calm people in the midst of a crisis. And apparently, it's not only patients who benefit. Many visitors find walking a labyrinth less stressful than sitting in a corridor or waiting room. Some doctors even walk the labyrinth during their breaks. In some hospitals, patients who can't walk can have a paper finger labyrinth brought to their bed. The science behind the theory is a little sketchy, but there are dozens of small-scale studies which support claims about the benefits of labyrinths. For example, one study found that walking a labyrinth provided short-term calming, relaxation, and relief from anxiety for Alzheimer's patients. So what is it about labyrinths that makes their appeal so universal? Is the end of part 4. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to part 4.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, basically we now have 1 minute to take the answers. However, we have answered all our questions, so we have to ensure that what we have answered, the spellings are correct. Okay, so these are the answers, and that's how you go through listening carefully. After highlighting your stuff, you now do a good job of listening carefully and typing them out or writing them out on this space is provided. Okay, so right after that, if you are doing a paper-based test, um, let me end it. Okay, if you are taking a paper-based test, all you have to do is you get a time to now transfer all the answers that you have given onto your answer sheet. All right, and that will be it for your listening. So this part is quite lengthy. If you start from um, 31, you are not stopping until you get to number 40. All right, there's no break in the middle that you can now kind of wait and read the rest like thoroughly again. So if you are given that 30 minutes to look through, you utilize it to the optimal the utmost maximum. All right, just ensure that you do it and you highlight them thoroughly. And as you listen and you get cues or you get signals in there, note them. Signals are just some of the words that they will use. Okay, some of them may come as a synonym, Okay, is TEF lab. I think they said that one just like as is over here. That one indicate that there's something coming. They ended up saying there was a 3 at the center or a 3 in the middle. That's what they said. But over here you have 3 in the center. So you got to be careful of the synonyms. All right, they are going to use them. Okay, and over here, the patients that can't walk, okay, can use what fingers are made of. However, when they were talking about, they said the patients who can't walk, or see they have paper labyrinth. Okay, paper finger labyrinth. However, over here, have you seen how they just twisted it? Okay, so that's how they go about trying to manipulate you so that you lose marks. However, if you know some of the things that they can do, which is the paraphrasing of some of the words and trying to just add more details in here, okay, so that it will kind of confuse you. Your ability to stay focused on some of the keywords in there, listening for those keywords or their synonym, okay, gives you the edge over the speaker. And so far as the speaker speaks it, you pick up your answer and you are done. All right. So that's how you go about it. So make sure to take your time and practice. And I will try as much as possible and get you 1 to 40, how you go through it. Okay, how you go through it. So if you start from 1, you highlighting your keywords or underline your keyword, how strict you can be, so that before you get here, okay, you have actually gone through almost all of them before you end up here. So by the time that you are here, you really know what you are about, and all your focus will just be on the audio, just to pick out your answers and just walk away. All right. So thank you and see you next.